Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started. Good evening to everyone. My name is Marcus Knott. I am the principal of Merced High School. Very proud to be the principal of Merced High School. I'm going to bring a couple of people into the live feed with me here in just a moment. You will meet all of my administrative team throughout this live event, but I'm going to start with two of them. I'm going to bring in Mr. Joel Sebastian. He is our associate principal over guidance and counseling. And I'm also going to bring in Miss Leah Smith. She is our associate principal over teaching and learning. So backstage right now with us, we'll bring them in a moment, is associate principal Victor Hoffman and associate principal Ashley Silvera, which you will see in a moment. So we're going to jump into this. We have a list of topics that we're going to talk about, hopefully answer some of your questions ahead of time. And then once we go through that, we will go ahead and open it up and start answering some of the questions. If you have a question, you can go ahead and drop it in the chat, and we should see it and be able to try to address it as we go. So thank you guys for joining us. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, I appreciate you guys being here with us tonight, and we will get into this. So first things first, again, welcome. We're about to start the 23-24 school year. We're very excited about the direction the school has been going. And just super excited to get started. New class of freshmen and all of our returning students up one more grade, getting closer to hopefully what will be a successful future for them. As you guys hopefully know, our maxims at Merced High School, which is the home of scholars and champions, are kind of outlined by the word strong. You guys should have seen that coming from me for my weekly updates that I send home. Strong stands for successful, trustworthy, respectful, optimistic, with a never give up attitude, and being goal oriented. That's what those words stand for. You can kind of see some of them around my head in the background here with our logo. But that is really what we are striving for our students to become. Our students will hear this from us this year as we talk about it, what that means in different situations, and how those words lead them to success. So that is really something that we're very proud of here, and hopefully you guys will also embrace that as well. Those behaviors do lead us to our students becoming what we call ready. We have a vision for readiness here at our school. They're kind of like our graduate outcomes or profile. Our students being effective communicators and collaborators, creative and critical thinkers, self-directed and resilient learners, and effective users of technology. Those are kind of the four main areas of the vision for readiness. And we feel that having well-rounded, well-developed students really is kind of where success comes from in the future. So yes, while we want them to get great grades and do all of those things, we want to develop well-rounded people so that when they go out into the community, we can work together and actually continue to make progress as we go forward in the world. So that's kind of just a general take on our, who we are here at the school. Merced High School has a very rich tradition. Like I said, it is the home of scholars and champions. We are very proud of our academic programs and our extracurricular programs, whether it's athletics. Our band is amazing. We have some very cool clubs that our kids get involved in. So a vast number of extracurricular activities, which Ms. Hoffman will talk about a little bit later too. So with that, I'm going to pass over to Mr. Sebastian. He's going to talk a little bit about guidance and counseling.
Thank you, Mr. Knott. Good evening, everybody. First thing I want to talk about is that our counselors have switched from grade level caseloads to alphabetical. So in the past, we had 4 counselors. One had each grade, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And now with our 5th counselor added, Ms. Benson, we've gone to an alphabetical by last name. So Mr. Smoot now has A to the last name D-A. Mrs. Cherf will have D-E to H-E by last name. Mrs. Benson, H-I to M-O-O. Ms. Odishu, M-O-R to S-A-L. And Mr. Dixon will have S-A-N to Z. We did have our roundup this past week, and we had a pretty good turnout. A lot of people out buying gear. We had a little hiccup with our company, with our credit card sales, but we were able to get that up and running. And so if you did not get a chance to buy items, you can still stop by our SBO and purchase items. A lot of all of our counselors were available during roundup, so a lot of schedule questions and changes were made and answered. And as far as scheduling update, I have been making updates daily, and we will print freshman schedules for Wednesday, first day of school, since they don't have their Chromebooks yet. And our upperclassmen can check on Aries that went live today with being able to see courses again. A couple of questions that were brought up is, will we have people available first day or two of school? Yeah, we'll have some tables out at our front office, and our counselors will be available to help students that may not have made it to Roundup, and they'll be able to help students with schedules and make any changes that need to be done. A question that was brought up on the survey that was sent out for tonight was, where can a student go if they need a safe place? And so for our students that need safe places, first person obviously is their counselor that they can go and talk to. We also have our student support manager and our office staff in 107 with our associate principals there. A trusted staff member, a teacher, are always people that our students can go up to and talk to if they're feeling unsafe, if they have questions. Another question that was raised is, do we have a mentor program here at Merced High School? We do have a mentor class that's starting this year. It's kind of on a smaller scale, where some of our students will be able to help mentor underclassmen, and that's something that we look to expand and roll out in the future. If a student is having any type of mental health crisis or social emotional needs, we do have our new student support manager, Ms. Renteria Soldado. And of course, our counselors are all trained to work with our students. So if a student needs some support, they should go see their counselor, and we can always refer to our student support manager if necessary. Um, it, and they can see our support staff in room 107 also if the counselor's not available. Our freshmen will receive Chromebooks that first week of school. We did have a question about whether or not a student can bring their own laptop, and students can bring their own laptops. They would hook up to the school Wi-Fi, and of course they would be under school policies regarding electronic devices. But when we do testing, we do have to use a school device. So we do have Chromebooks available. Even if a student chooses not to get one at the beginning of the year, they would be able to check one out for testing. So that's kind of a brief overview of what's going on in the council world. And I'll turn it back over to Mr. Knott.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sebastian. Next up on the agenda, we will hear from Ms. Smith. She'll talk to us a little bit about some family engagement.
Okay, hi everyone. So I'm Leah Smith. I'm over teaching and learning, which includes parent engagement. So last week I sent out a parent engagement plan on Parent Square. Included in this plan was a Google form asking our stakeholders and families to share their feedback on last year's parent engagement opportunities. We want to know ways that you recommend connecting to our school more and how you prefer to be contacted. So if you haven't filled this out, please do. Merced also wants our parents to be involved. So we have two opportunities coming up for you. Our school site council. So our school site council looks at students' data and school information. We identify student needs and areas of improvement, participate in the creation and revision of our single plan for student achievement, which is our SIPSA. And our team also monitors the plan to see what the actions that have occurred and how we're spending our money and evaluating the activities that we're doing throughout the year. I'll be sending an interest form out soon. If you're interested in joining the school site council, please complete this form. We meet 3 times in the fall and 3 times in the spring. So again, more info will go out about school site council. The other opportunity is our ELAC committee. So the purpose of the English Learners Advisory Committee, also known as ELAC, is to advise the principal and our staff on programs and services for our English learners. I'll also be sending out an interest form for our ELAC committee. Please fill the form out if you're interested in joining. This committee meets each quarter. Both ELAC and School Site Council will have interest forms at Back to School Night, which we have planned for September 19th. So Mr. Knott, that's what I have for family engagement.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Again, if you guys have questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. We will try to address them as soon as we can. At this time, I'm actually going to call in Ms. Hoffman and Ms. Silvera. So Mr. Sebastian and Ms. Smith will be off screen, but they'll still be with us. They will be talking to us a little bit about attendance, health, and safety, and some of our activities and athletics. So I think first up, actually, I'll let them kind of decide the order they want to go in. So Ms. Hoffman and Ms. Silvera, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Ms. Silvera. I'm the AP over student support, and part of my focus will be attendance. And we all know how important attendance is for our students' success, and we want our students to be present every day. We know when they're here and in class, they're able to grow academically and socially. So for that reason, you will soon be seeing flyers and messages revolving around our attendance campaign, which is be prompt, be present, and be strong. When you see this, please take the opportunity to discuss this with your students and the importance of attendance. If your student does have to be absent from school for a doctor's appointment that cannot be scheduled at any other time or any other reason, you can call in and let us know. It's advised that you call beforehand and let us know. That way you can get your student outside pass. If your student is sick, you can respond to the parent square that alerts you that they are gone, or you may bring doctor's notes into the attendance office. One other issue that we've had in this past year that we like to address is tardies, which have been on our campus. And in order to address that, we have created a new policy, and Mr. Knott will be sharing this policy, so keep a lookout for that. When you see the policy, please talk to your students about it and encourage your students to get to class on time, including first period. Part of the consequences in this tardy policy that you will see will be lunchtime detention, after school detention, or possibly Saturday academy. So it's really important that your student gets here on time. Our school start time is 8:30, zero period begins at 7:20. Students can be dropped off in our student parking lot, and we do understand that the parking lot gets congested. So just keep this in mind and allow for this during travel time. And also we have staff here as early as 7:15 a.m. And so students are welcome on campus. Now, Ms. Hoffman's going to talk to you a little bit about dress code.
Well, I'll actually jump in since we were talking about getting to school on time. I wanted to mention the bus routes because I think that was a question that came up. So the bus routes right now are located on the MHS website. So if you look on the About tab and then bus stops, it will tell you we have 2 bus stops downtown. So one of them is going to be on at N and 11th Street, and that one in the morning picks up at 7:42. And then there's one at McNamara Park, and that one picks up at 8:05. And then they both drop off. So the N and 11th Street drops off at 3:35, and then the McNamara Park drops off at 3:40 every day. So just a heads up for those of you riding the bus. Let's see. So I'm going to talk about IDs is going to be another safety thing that we're going to be enforcing again this year. So all students are required to have an ID when they enter campus every day. They're asked to show an ID, and that's going to be through our Minga app. And so if students don't have a cell phone, because they can download the Minga app or look on minga.io and log into their student account and bring up their digital ID. If they do not have a cell phone to do that with, they can also do it on their Chromebook. And so every day that they enter campus, they're going to have to show us that they're a student here on campus with their ID. And this is also going to go for parents and visitors on campus. They're asked to show a photo ID when they enter our campus. So just keep that in mind if you do come to visit our school. And then jumping to also cell phone expectations. That's another question that came up about concerns with cell phones. So our motto is bell to bell, no cell. We want students to be engaged in class, and if it becomes an issue, if it becomes a distraction, they are going to be warned by the teacher. And if it continues to be a distraction for them, it will be treated as a disruption. So there will be possible disciplinary action if they continue to get out their cell phone on a daily basis in every class. This also includes earbuds, smart watches, any other digital device that might be a distraction to them. And then jumping to dress code expectations. Dress code remains the same. We're going to send out the dress code specifics to parents and students at the beginning of the school year. And it's also in the student handbook that's online. I realize that everybody right now is doing some back to school shopping, so just be mindful of what's appropriate to dress at school. And then I think that's it for me, Miss Silvera. Did you want to talk about safety concerns?
So your child's safety is very important to us. So if your child does have a safety concern, we have two options for them. They can report it to our tip line by texting BEARS, followed by their tip to 847-411. And of course, that number is on our website and there's posters all around campus. Or if the student has a safety concern or the student feels they are being bullied or harassed, the student can come into 107 where they will complete a witness statement that will be given to the appropriate staff member to address. And as always, our staff on campus is here for our students when they feel unsafe, and they can come and talk to any of them. And then I think Ms. Hoffman's on again about GoFan.
Yeah. So I'll talk about a couple more things. I am over facilities this year, so we right now are pretty deep in pool. Well, we're actually done with pool demolition, so we don't have a pool anymore. So the pool construction is underway. It should be finished in July of next year. So at the moment, we have it all roped off with a green fence, and we just ask that students are, aware of their surroundings. Just try to stay away from that area as best they can. Be cautious during the school day because there will be construction staff members on site coming and going. And so just don't enter any areas that you're not supposed to go in. So hopefully by July of next year, we will have a nice new pool in the back of the school. And then let's see. Oh, and then I was going to talk to you about attending sports events. So we are going all digital this year. We are using a site called GoFan. So if you go to gofan.co, you can actually purchase tickets right now for football games, for volleyball games, and we have the availability of a season pass where you can purchase a season pass for all the games, the home games of that sport, or you can buy individual tickets for individual games. So just keep in mind that all sports events are going to be requiring that GoFan on your phone now. And if you have any issues and you cannot use GoFan, you can come to the school the day of the event that's going to be the home game and purchase a ticket with cash in our SBO. So just ask at the gate that you want to, again, would purchase a ticket for that day of the event, and then go to the SBO and you can purchase it with cash or a credit card. And then Mr. Knott sends out a weekly bear in mind informational parent square. And so if you look on that as well, we will list all of the events for that week. We're going to be listing sports events, any kind of school activities. And Ms. Silvera will be sending out a midweek update for on Wednesday evenings for any additional information that's shared that week. And then a question to come up about athletics teams. So tryouts are before the season starts, and I'm aware that fall sports are already starting up. And so they did have tryouts during the summer. If you're a new student to the area, you can contact the coach if you're interested and talk to them about what that participation might be able to look like for you. And make sure too that you have a sports physical completed, because that is going to be a requirement before you actually get onto a field or court to play. And then Ms. Silvera was going to talk a little bit about activities.
And then just one last thing, we really want all of our students involved in a sport or club because it's important for us, for them to feel a connection to our campus. We do offer a wide variety of clubs, and this next Thursday, August 24th at lunch, we will have a club rush where students are going to be able to sign up for clubs and see the different options available. And that's all for us, Mr. Knott.
All right, thank you both. I appreciate that. One of the things I want to reiterate there is just how important it is for our students to be involved. We do have a lot of opportunities for a wide variety of interests, whether they be physical, athletic interest, musical interest, acting. We have drama. We have things you can work with your hands out in our programs, our CTE programs. All sorts of other interests you can learn about. It's just, we have a lot to offer. So if you are interested in doing things, it makes the school experience better. And we really, really encourage all of our students to be involved with something other than just showing up and going to class every day. So again, we will have Club Rush early in the season for our clubs. all of our CTE classes. Our teachers are very active in recruiting members to their organizations. And like I said, it just creates a much better experience. So this time we'll try to address questions. I know I see a few popping up in the chat. We have a question here about Minga that I see on Facebook. I think, what is Minga, and can you guys explain? I'll give that one a shot, and then if I need some help, I'll call in another one of the APs. Minga is basically the platform that we use for our digital IDs and hall pass monitoring. All of our students' identifications now are digital, so they either can do it on their personal electronic device or on their school-provided Chromebook, one or the other. But it shows a picture of them. It shows what, permissions they may have or access. I know some students have off-campus passes at certain times of the day, things of that nature. It's all indicated on their Minga ID digitally, and it's updated in real time. We also use it for hall passes. So if a kid needs to use the restroom during class, that shows us, they create a pass in there, or the teacher will create a pass for them. And it enables our hall monitors to know who's supposed to be out of class and who's not, because they can see it on the device that they're carrying, whether that be a tablet or a phone or something like that. So it's just something that another layer of kind of security that we feel is helpful for us. We implemented a little bit last year. This year, we'll be using it more extensively. It also does some pretty cool things, like allows us to track bear points, to track student involvement. It has calendars in there, so a lot of the events that we have going on are posted in Minga as well. So our students can go there to find information about upcoming events and things like that. So it's a pretty robust platform that we've kind of we started to partner with last year, and like I said, we're looking to expand the use of it this year because it's really cool for our kids. So hopefully I answered that question about Minga. I don't know, APs, you guys see any other questions? I haven't seen a lot of other questions popping up there. Yes, thank you for that information. 5:45 a.m. for senior sunrise. Seniors, we hope to see you guys there Wednesday morning, bright and early. Can parents make an appointment with their child's school counselor? Yes, I'm actually bringing Mr. Sebastian in if he has anything to add to that, but yes, he can. So luck of the draw, Ms. Hoffman, you're off. Mr. Sebastian, there was a question about counseling. Do we have a particular process? Should they call? Should they email? Either way?
Yeah, once the students notice that there's an issue with their schedule, they need to make a class change. We will have tables set up. Ms. Tippett will be there to see what the issue is, and then she can either take care of it right then and there, or we can see if this counselor's available. But we can also schedule appointments for counselors too if it gets busy.
Perfect. And I'm sure there will be questions. There always are. But yeah, by all means, please do. And if you need to come in before school starts, meaning tomorrow, since tomorrow's the last day before school starts, that might be possible too. But same idea, call or stop by.
And students can always email their counselor also. I know they've been getting a lot of emails from students over the last week or so.
Correct. We had another question about IDs. If you missed that one, we actually, our students took pictures that were here for Roundup. We will have a make-up picture day, but IDs are digital this year. So if they've taken their picture, they have access to their IDs. We sent out information on how to log into Minga. If we get in a situation where a student does not have access to either their school Chromebook or some sort of personal device, whether it's a phone or their own tablet or something, we do have the ability to print IDs, but that is going to be limited to students who just for whatever reason do not have access to one of their devices, as that does happen from time to time. So yes, they should actually already have their IDs unless they did not come to school, or to Roundup to take pictures. They still actually have one. They just want to have a picture on it. They just need to log into Minga to pull it up. Another question about busing. How do we sign up? The bus routes will be sent to you tomorrow, along with a lot of this information we're talking about. So on the first day of school, make sure you are there at the pickup time, and we will get there. They do, obviously, that area is where the bus runs to. There are 2 stops. So if you're not in that area, then there's no bus route for you if you're not in that area. Sorry about that. Let's see, we have a question about somebody took a picture. Okay, so email information for login. I do believe that went home. Miss Smith, I'm gonna call you back in right now. Just 1 second.
Hi, yes, I did send out the same parent square that went out for Minga, and how to sign up for Minga also has how to log into your school email. So it's all on there. I can resend it again as well.
And I can attach that same information tomorrow as well. Again, I think it was mentioned before, but usually I send out my updates on Sunday evenings. But I am going to send an extra one on tomorrow, just so everybody has all this information. I wanted to make sure we had this event first because I knew we would get questions that hopefully we can either answer tonight or find the answer tomorrow and send out. So you'll get one more extra update from me. I know I sent out one last on Sunday night for this event, but I will send one again on Tuesday that will have that information Ms. Smith is talking about.
Yeah, I can answer Jeremy's question as well.
Oh, go for it.
On the same email, so what Mr. Knott says he'll send out tomorrow night will tell you how to log into Minga. All of the information is there. So first you need to make sure you can log into your school email. Once you can get into your school email, you will use your school email address to get into Minga. Same with Aries. So again, all of that's on the same doc, and it will be attached to the webpage Mr. Knott sends out.
All right. Thank you for those questions. Thank you, Ms. Smith. Thank you for those questions. Keep those questions coming. I know people have them out there. So if you have any other questions, go ahead and pop them in. We will try to do our best to answer them. While we are waiting for questions, just here we go. We get a question. Okay, if he does not have a school email, we'll have to address that. If he's just recently registered, then the email address will need to be created. If he's not just recently registered, then he should have one. So we'll have to figure that out. So I would ask that mother, that's, I don't want to say your name, but if you are if you have that question, give the school a call. We'll try to address that. Okay, while we're waiting for more questions, we do have, our students are up and running. As somebody said, Senior Sunrise is Wednesday morning for our seniors, 5:45. We'll see you in the stadium. Hopefully we see a bunch of you there. We also have, I believe, our first football game. Our freshmen will be playing Thursday here at the stadium, at Kathy Hostetler Stadium in the back of the school, against Central Catholic, and our varsity team will be traveling to Central Catholic on Friday night. So if you guys aren't doing anything and you want to get out there and support the Bears, our first opportunities to do that will be coming up. And then our newest sport, our girls flag football, I believe, is playing on Saturday. I believe they have a tournament this weekend, so we are super looking forward to that, seeing our girls get out there and do that. So just a lot of stuff. It's already going on. School starts and it's going really fast. So we had a question about parent club or PTA type program. Earlier, Ms. Smith was talking about school site council. That's a great opportunity for us to have our parents involved. We do not have a PTA, so to speak, kind of like our younger schools tend to do, but we do love parent involvement. You'll hear from us asking for feedback. And if you want to be involved, we do have things like school site council and ELAC that you can definitely take part in. So definitely opportunities. And like I said, we're always looking for involvement at our events and things of that nature. Parents, we'd love to have you guys on campus. So let's see. What about seniors that did not take pictures at Roundup? Do they get an ID? Do you want to address that, Ms. Smith?
Sure. So everyone has an ID in Minga already. If they were here last year, it'll be their picture from last year until we get the updated from the photographers. So if they weren't here, they still have the ID. They still can get on campus and lunch and everything. And then we'll update the pictures as they come in. Do you want me to keep answering?
No, that's good.
At 8:30 on Wednesday. That's the next question. And then any class schedules that need to be changed, students should contact their counselors.
Yeah. And as she said, school starts at 8:30. School starts at 8:30 every day. We don't have a different schedule like some schools do. Just when we pushed school start time back to 8:30 or last year, we made that adjustment. So school starts the same time every single day of the week at 8:30 a.m. And we get out at 3:16 if a student has a full 7-period schedule, which most of them do. So. Let's see. If kids didn't do the summer trials for sports, can they try out? That's kind of a case by case question right there. I think if you were a new student to the area, sure you can still try out. Otherwise, I would say you would probably need to speak to the coach if you've been here and for whatever reason you did not go. Our sports programs, like most sports programs, there is a commitment level that our coaches expect from the students, and if they just chose not to go to summer workouts, that may have been the time they were supposed to try out. However, if people do have circumstances, so hopefully there was some communication with the coaches about that, especially for our incoming freshmen. Sometimes they don't get as much of the information as our kids that were here already. So I would say communicate with the coaches directly and see if there's something if there are circumstances that they're willing to work with you on. But tryouts for most of the teams have happened already. So, yeah. Is off-campus lunch for all students? We do have requirements for our off-campus lunch privileges. I'll try to spit out some of them. Ms. Smith, you can jump in with this too. So no, to answer the question, it is not for all students. One, freshmen do not have all off-campus privileges right away. They can earn it by earning bear points that we do keep track of in the Minga app. So that's pretty cool, kind of an incentive for them to do well and get points on certain things. For our sophomores, juniors, and seniors, they are capable of earning off-campus lunch, but it is, there's a GPA requirement, I believe, of 2.5. There's an attendance requirement. There is a discipline requirement, which meaning they can't be getting in trouble at school for them to have off-campus lunch. I don't know. Am I missing anything there, Ms. Smith? There's a few things we have in place.
Yeah, so it's attendance, discipline, and GPA.
Yeah, and GPA, those three things. So yes, if the student meets the requirements, then they have the ability to go eat lunch off campus. For the students that are here, they do not have to pay for lunch on campus. I will be sending out the menu tomorrow that will be included of kind of what the food choices are that are offered on campus in case you're interested in that as an option as well. So what time can students, as early as 7:15, there's usually staff members here on campus. So they can get here very early. And we encourage that. As we said earlier, it does get really congested right near the start of school. We know the parking lot is what it is, but you guys, if you've lived in Merced for a while, there's not a whole lot we can do with that parking lot that's going to make it any faster for people to get out when we have a large number of students being dropped off at 8:25. So the earlier you can get here, the better it will be for our students and for attendance, for tardies, and just for the drop off in general. So please don't wait until the last minute. Let's see, what else can we miss here? If students do not have first or seventh period, they do not have, oh yeah, that one got answered already. Thank you. Sophomores, juniors, or seniors that are returning to MHS will also get their Chromebooks the first couple days of school, like our freshmen are, if they're new to the school. So hopefully that will answer that question. My son has a free period, first period and last period. Oh, yep, that's the one that got answered. Sorry. All right. How many bear points does a freshman need to get off campus? Is it 25? We set that at, Ms. Smith. Very good. 25 bear points. And I believe if they came to Roundup, if I'm not mistaken, they already earned one because I think we gave them 25 points for being at Roundup. So yes, our freshmen that came to Roundup, you may go one time.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, sure.
If the students open up their Minga app and they look at their student ID, at the top of their ID, there's stickers. So if they've earned, so if they're a returning student, sophomore and up, they can check in already. I already have it entered on their IDs if they're allowed off campus. So they've met their requirements.
Yeah, we are actually going to start the first day of school with that in place. So If you have off-campus privileges, it should show up on your app right now. If you have a question about that, let somebody know, but we pretty much got those loaded in there. So yeah, it's all ready to roll.
And they can check the leaderboard as well, so the freshman students can see that they earned those 25 points. Sorry.
All right, we have about 9 minutes scheduled left on this live event. There are more questions. You guys keep popping them in there. And like I said, we will send out kind of a summary of the kind of the large ideas that we've covered tonight. But we just really appreciate everybody showing up. Super excited about starting this school year. We've been through some challenges in the recent past. The last few years have all had some challenges, so we're super excited about getting to a start of this fresh new school year. So we'll hang in here for a few more minutes. Like I said, if you have questions, please shoot them in the chats, and we will do our best to answer them.
So I see a couple I can answer. The freshmen don't have their pictures in Minga yet. I have to get them from the photographer still. So once the photographer sends them to me, I'll get their pictures uploaded. And then yes, students scan in and out to get on and off campus for lunch. So we actually stand at the gates. They show us their IDs and we scan them. So we're able to track and keep them accountable.
And Ms. Smith, I don't know if you answered this, but there was a question about someone to contact for help with Minga if they need it.
That's me. Well, any of us can answer questions, but they can email me.
Help getting set up. That's what the question was.
Oh yeah, I can. Oh well, we sent it out. We sent out the docs. Actually, it was, if we scroll up, there's a Google Drive link too that can help quick access. Otherwise, you'll send something out tomorrow night.
There was a question about if I didn't go to Roundup, how do I get my classes? If you're an upperclassman, you can log into your Aries and the classes should be listed online. If you're a freshman, we will be printing out schedules and they'll be posted your first period class on the Windows by 107. And then once you get to your first period class, your teachers will have your schedules for you.
There's also a question about work permits. Ms. Tippett in the guidance office deals with work permits. So stop by the guidance office to talk with Ms. Tippett. And then there was also a question about lunch. Yes, lunch is provided for everyone for free. So if you do not want to go off campus, even if you can, you don't have to. You can stay and eat. And for those students who do not have access to off campus, there will be food on campus for them.
And there was a question, we do check students in and out of off-campus lunch.
Yes, that's correct.
As far as supplies that your student might need, a lot of this work is done electronically, but always having something to write with, some paper, maybe a binder to organize would be useful. And then some teachers will let students know what they want specifically for their class.
Answer that question. No, most freshmen do not need work permits if they're working on campus. So if the person was afraid, if I misread that, if a person is a freshman, no, they won't be getting work permits for off-campus jobs. So no, sorry if there was confusion about that.
As far as food, we do have food carts that have a little bit of variety of different items depending on which line you go to. If you go to the cafeteria, we always have a nacho line, there's a hot food line, and then there's different items available on the carts, which are located in different parts of campus.
Yeah.
We do recommend Chromebook insurance for everybody in case a Chromebook is damaged. It's on a sliding scale. You pay a little bit more as a freshman, and each year it goes down. I want to say it's something like 30, 25, 20, and 20. Each year it gets a little bit cheaper as that Chromebook ages.
Yes, I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, we highly recommend it, but not required.
Yeah.
But you don't want to have a $300 or $400 bill if the Chromebook.
No. All right, we got a few more minutes.
Microwaves was a question. We don't have microwaves in our cafeteria for students, but a lot of students hang out with teachers. A lot of them have microwaves. Sometimes they'll ask that teacher if they could heat up their food, so that might be a possibility. There's a question about, will parents be notified if students don't return after lunch? If a student doesn't return and they're marked absent by the teacher, then there would be a dialer that would go out notifying you that a student missed periods during the school day.
All right. Well, it seems like our questions are kind of slowing down here from what I can see. Again, just very happy and thankful that you guys were able to join us this evening. I appreciate it. We got a couple minutes left, but we don't need to belabor this. If we don't have any other questions, we will be obviously at school tomorrow. There will be some activities in the morning with staff, so bear with us if you call and it takes a little bit for us to get to you. But the offices will be open tomorrow. So if you have things that are urgent and you need to come down and see us, by all means, please do. We always welcome our parents and our families onto campus. Hopefully we can help you out as quickly and efficiently as possible. And just really appreciate it. Again, looking forward to the start of the school year. So I'm if any of the team wants to say anything else, Mr. Sebastian, Ms. Smith, you guys have anything else to add?
There was one last question about how many tickets for graduation.
Oh, that's always a very important question. So our base is 5 tickets as it starts, and then seniors have the opportunity to earn at least 2 or 3 more. 2 more, I believe, is what it is. People always ask us why so few. I know some people have large families, or some people want to invite lots of family members, but our stadium does have limited capacity, and with probably 420, 430 graduates at 5 to 7 tickets, it fills up really fast. Our stadium has seats about 3,000 people, and that's assuming we all squeeze in there nice and tight. And we know we don't always love to do that. So that's the reason for the limits to the tickets. But it starts at 5, and then they can earn a couple more by coming to various activities and things of that nature. So, and then there was a couple other questions. Yes, we do have a leadership class. I see that question. Contact Ms. Ariola if she can answer any questions you would have about the leadership class. She's our activities director. You can find her in the student body office at Merced. And then I also saw a question about winter sports. Winter sport tryouts are at the end of October, beginning of November. You'll see information go out about the needs for that as far as physicals and dates of practices and things like that, depending on what sport it is as that approaches. So winter sports start in late October, early November. All right, I'm going to bring Ms. Hoffman and Ms. Silveria in one last time as well, in case they need to add anything. We're all on there together. There you go. Do you guys have anything to add? No? All right.
I think just the biggest thing, because I know IDs were mentioned a lot. So if any students need support learning how to use Minga for the first time, just come and see any of the APs and we can walk them through it. But again, they'll have to be using it to get on campus every day, so liaisons can show them how to use it, and teachers too if they're making a pass.
All right. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate it. Like I said, we look forward to seeing you down here. Come by anytime, and we'll see you out and about at the games, at the school, whatever else there are. But we're looking forward to it. So have a great year, and we'll see you guys all Wednesday morning. Look forward to it. All right. Take care.